Today we're going to look at the my Windswept style portulacaria afra. Um, I think the last time that I showed this was during the winter time, and it was fighting off aphid infestation, and it looked a lot different than it does now. It's been outside for about a month, and our temperatures are in the 80s during the day, and they drop into the 60s at night. So it's plenty warm to have my tropicals and these guys outside. We've had really nice weather. It's been raining, pretty consistently. Haven't really had to run the sprinkler system or do a lot of watering. So it's pretty nice, and the tree definitely likes the outdoor environment. I don't see really any signs of any critters on it. There's a few spider webs, but I don't think it's spider mites. I think it's just actual, spiders building webs looking for a snack. But the tree looks really healthy, and I'll try to show some pictures of what it looked like the last time that I worked on it when it was inside. And just to show you how, just be patient and how resilient these things are. Just kind of keep caring for them, and they will bounce back. At least that's my experience. So, and as you can see, I mean, this one's got growth all over it, and it's really, really out of shape. Like I said, I'm styling this into kind of a windswept style. So I want everything to be moving towards the left here. And I want to develop little pads throughout here and have a lot of airspace just to have some interest. So today I think I'm just going to prune it up. Not sure if I need to wire any branches. This branch back here seems to be maybe springing up a little bit, but once I get it pruned a little bit, I'll see if I need to bend that back down, just kind of see how the shape is, to see if I'm maintaining that kind of that windswept look that I'm going for. So let's just kind of jump in here and start trimming some of these shoots back. And usually when a tree's so far overgrown and out of shape, I don't try to take everything back all at once. I'll just kind of go in and take some of the shoots back just to kind of, start getting it in shape, and then see what it looks like, and then kind of go back through and see what else I need to do to it. I just like to take my time and kind of work it in stages just to make sure I don't cut too much off all at once. So that's just how I do it anyway. There's really no right way or wrong way. It's just, whatever makes you happy and relaxed when you're working on your trees. Like I said, my goal is to keep these, pretty tight into little pads. So that's kind of what I'm looking at as I prune some of these back. And I got some rogue branches that have popped up just right from the trunk and branches. So I'll take care of some of those as I'm looking at this. But whatever I do today, it'll really spring back now that it's outside and growing pretty vigorous. So looking forward to seeing where it goes. So I've got some branches that are like down here, they're kind of growing back this way, and that's really not the look that I'm wanting. I'm wanting them to go this way. Like this one here is kind of growing back and out towards the front, but I think it's dense enough to where I can create sort of a little pad there, so it doesn't break the flow and cause you to want to point back that direction. Plus this one is kind of growing down too. If you can see that, it's at the bottom of the branch, and so is this. Let me turn it around here if you can see this in here. This branch is also growing from the bottom. Not super ideal. So I think I've got enough on top here with this branch and this cluster here. I think I can just go ahead and get rid of that downward facing branch. So that'll help clean that up. And I've got this branch that's kind of leaning down a little bit too much, so we'll cut that back for now. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with this cluster up here. If I want to keep that just for a little interest, or just kind of get rid of that just so you see the branches come out. This one's growing down here still, so we'll get rid of that. And this won't be a final styling by any means today. It's just, you know, one of those stages of maintenance pruning to kind of keep it in check. It's just like this shoot here. This is all just brand new, just randomly popped out from the trunk, and I don't think I want too much. I'm kind of okay with this smaller cluster here, just because it's a nice little pad, but I don't think I want these shoots that are popping out up higher here, so I'm going to get rid of those, because I don't think this really, it doesn't really point that way, and my goal would be to kind of bring it, you know, have kind of just a little pad there just to break up the straightness of that trunk, even though it does have some taper, which is nice. It's thick here at the bottom, and it gets smaller, but as I showed in one of my other videos, this was a pretty big wound. It's actually pretty well healed up now, because this tree originally was upright. This was kind of the main leader sticking up, and then I had another big branch coming off this direction. I ended up chopping that off to kind of give the cascade look. So I've left these there to help heal that wound, and so far it's, I mean, it's looking really good. So I'm happy with that. But you can see it's got some nice gnarly look on the trunk. As you can see, it's the soil's damp, but it's really good draining. It's lava rock, akadama. So it drains well, but last night we just got 3 inches of rain, so it's still pretty damp, but not too worried because it pretty much all drained out, so it'll be fine. And some of these small shoots that have popped out on these branches up here, let's get rid of those. And then some of these downward facing leaves, I like to cut those off, just a personal preference, just to maintain, kind of keep those pads in check. And when you cut off the leaves that are facing down, it just gives the pad a flatter look to the bottom of it, which is kind of what I like to see. But again, that's just my preference. So not needed for the health of the plant or even the design. It's just like to shape my trees. I try to keep the pads a little flatter on the bottom. So get this pad out here. It's looking pretty nice. So we'll just take that back to increase the ramification some. Got this sprout up here on the branch. I think I'm just going to get rid of that just so I can maintain my negative space. Because what I like to see, you know, glimpses of the branch, and then maybe a foliage pad, and then another branch, and same thing down here. You know, I've got this little clump here, and then you can see the branch, and then another pad. So that's just kind of what I like to see when I'm looking at the design of my trees. So and as I'm clipping and pruning, that's kind of what's in the back of my mind, to make sure that I can open up some of these negative spaces in here. And I had some wire on this originally, and it was pulling this branch down some, which I may want to do again, but I'm not sure. We'll see what today's styling looks like, and if I want to do it today or wait till the next time I prune it, because with these things being outside, and I like to keep them somewhat in check, they'll be growing really fast. And that's, another reason why I like these portulacarias, is because in the summertime, I mean, you can work on them probably every month just to keep the growth in check, just because they grow so fast. At least here in Texas, where it's really warm. This time of year, the springtime is really magical, just because we have some warm weather, and this season it's been raining, so it's just, the environment is almost perfect. Some of these branches here are kind of facing back towards the main trunk, so I'm just going to take those off. Just reducing some of the height on these, just because I like to keep that, I like to have the airflow, some negative space in between the branches and the pads. I just find it more interesting when they look that way. So kind of moving back on up here, we've got some branches that are kind of pointing back this way, which I really don't want. This one's here too close to the base, so I don't really want any pads forming there. This one looks like it's, even if I decide to bend this branch down, it's still kind of pointing up and in the opposite way that I want it to go. So we'll take some of these back, reduce the height here. These are really, really growing vigorous. Just reduce this down some. Getting a little long, so I think I'm gonna take that back just to keep the kind of profile here, so it's still kind of that dome rectangle look overall, and then have the smaller pads within the interior of the tree. I've got this branch here that's really just growing almost straight down, which I don't think it's nice to have that negative space filled there, but it's just, unless I wire it up, it just looks a little odd. What I'm looking at is this branch here. It's just really growing down at an odd angle, and like I said, I could wire it up to kind of help fill in that pad, but I still have the branch that's this little crook here growing straight down. Not the end of the world, just because it kind of, because it goes down, but then it kind of comes out this way, so it's kind of keeping the flow of the tree coming. Just trying to decide, but I just still think it looks, usually your first instinct is kind of right. If it jumps out at you as, looking odd or maybe out of place, that's usually going to be the case. Even if you keep looking at it and thinking about it, it's usually there's a reason your eye was kind of drawn to it. And I think in that case, needed to go. Yeah, it just helped the flow over here, so everything's just still got that horizontal movement off to the left this way. And I've got some airspace opened up in between these pads, which is nice. I've got this branch here kind of growing down, so I think I'm gonna get rid of that. Keep everything kind of growing towards the top. Got some of these, this little branch here, little sprout growing down. And this one here, I don't know. I really don't think I need that. I don't think that's contributed anything other than covering up that scar. So I'll take it back, maybe leave that little nub there just to continue growing, sending energy there to heal that spot up. And I'll try to link the other videos where I worked on this tree, just so you can kind of go back, because when I'm watching some bonsai videos, I enjoy seeing the progress of the tree, just kind of over time, how long it takes and kind of how it started, and how it kind of evolved into the current shape and design. So I'll try to include that in the description here in this video, or maybe I might put it in the little box that pops up right at the end of this video. That way you can watch this one all the way through and then just click on that box and go see a previous video of this tree. Yeah, it's looking better. Just needed a little bit of a haircut. And like I said, this one, I've got a couple spaces outside, as you saw at the beginning of this video. This one is on my benches out in full sun. I'll probably end up having to put some sort of a shade canopy, with a little bit of a sunblock, just because in the summertime, even though these are full sun trees, the heat here in Texas just really, it's just super intense. We've got several days, a month or two at a time, to where temperatures are over 100 degrees, and they tend to stress out just a little bit. The growth slows down, so I try to provide them a little bit of shade. So that's one space that I've got out in full sun in the yard, and then I've also got some shelves kind of up on my patio to where they get morning sun, and that's pretty much it. They just get indirect light the rest of the day. So, but my bigger trees go out into the yard. So, and I'll do once I get my trees a little more in shape, because I'm still in the pruning stage of side. So once I kind of get them all, most of them tidied up, I'll kind of give a tour of my bench and my shelving that I have outside, just so you guys can see it. Because I find that helpful too, when I can see how other people are displaying their trees, and just kind of what works for them. Maybe take some ideas, and I'll share mine, and maybe you can get some ideas off of what I'm doing. I'm kind of struggling with what kind of canopy to put up. I want to put some sort of a lightweight frame up that really doesn't detract from the look of the bench, and then be able to mount some shade cloth on the top, because I don't want to block the sun completely. I just want to maybe put maybe a 30% shade cloth or something to kind of give it a little break during the day, when the sun is really intense. But I've got another month or two before I need to really start focusing on that, because we're next week we're in the 90s, and we'll probably sit there through May, and then we'll probably consistently be in the 90s after that, and then up into the hundreds. So let's see, I think we're just about, I'm still just trying to decide on this branch here. I think I need to bring that down again, because I had that wired down originally, and it kind of sprung up when I took the wire off. So I think I need to bring it down, but I think I might just use a kind of a guy wire technique instead of wiring the whole branch. So let's see if I can get that to work here. So I'll just loop it over that and then kind of bring it down. That should be enough. And what I do is just, this wire's thick enough where it'll hold the loop, and I'll just loop it over this upper branch, and then kind of pull it down to where I want it, which is, I think, about there. I think that looks pretty good. Let's see if I can get it in the camera. See, coming from up there down to here, I think it really just fills that void in. I might even go a little bit farther, just so when I take this off, if it springs back up, it'll be in the right spot. So I think I'll just do that for now. And then now that it's in place, it's a little bit long, so I'll take some of that length off. Yeah, so that way it'll be just a nice little pad back there that's fills in that negative space towards the back, gives it a little depth, and I still have everything, flowing this way. This could probably come down. I don't know if I can tie those two together, if it's just going to bring that upper one, or that lower one up. I don't know what will happen if I try to just squeeze those together, because I just don't like this interfering with the look of this one. I guess I could bring that one up, and that way it's not so horizontal. But I don't really mind the horizontal though, because it kind of helps my style. But it seems like the other ones have movement where they go up and down, or they kind of curve, and this one just seems kind of straight. So I don't know what I want to do. I could bring it down. I could put some wire on this, bring it down a little bit, and then bring it up so it kind of has a little swoop. Or I could just leave it and kind of see what happens over time, and maybe address it next time I work on the tree. I think I might, well, I think if I bring that together, I don't know about this angle here though. Is that too tight? I don't know. I think, when I'm undecided like this, I tend to just kind of let it sit, and then over the next few weeks, I'll come back to it with fresh eyes and kind of look at it again to see. And then, even as I'm watching this video back, when I edit it, I may see something that looks a little different in camera than what I'm seeing here working on it. So I may come back and work on it later. I'm just going to bring this top down a little bit more, because this will grow back really fast. So it'll just, get really tight and compact. So I'll just bring these back. would be nice if this would fill in, and that way I'd have my little triangle shape there. So yeah, I think that really cleaned it up. Yeah, I think that'll work. Now that I'm seeing this though, I don't, this branch back here, see this little branch here is just sticking straight up, and that's kind of bothering me. It gives a little fullness to it, but I just don't know if I like that sticking straight up. But if I bend this branch eventually, then it's kind of growing back. So I think I'm just going to get rid of it. And yep, there. And if I bend that up, it'll still look okay. It just has me, leaves me with that flat pad. Let's see this going back towards the inside of the tree. And when I'm looking at that, I'm looking, through the tree and just kind of seeing the negative space. And I saw some things kind of pointing back this way, so that's why I went in and just made that last little cut. Yeah, I think we might leave it. I say that, and I go in and cut some more, but like I said, I think you can just keep going on these things, making little cuts and tweaking it, but at some point you just gotta leave it alone, put it back on the bench, let it grow some more, and get after it again. So I think that's what I'm going to do at this stage. I think I'm going to just leave it there, and I'll give you a quick spin around, and then we'll put it back out on the bench. So there's the front, there's the left side, there's the back, there's the right side, and back to the front. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.